Skoda's new Rapide Spaceback has all the markings of a top seller and of a serious competitor for parent company Volkswagen. It follows the Rapide 5-door hatchback and marks a widening of Skoda's range in the compact segment. It's not the first time Volkswagen has had competition from its own subsidiary, which may explain why VW recently tightened the reins and decreed somewhat plainer lines for Skoda, plain enough to set it off visually from its pricier Volkswagen counterparts. Skoda's Christoph Behringer places the Rapide in between the Fabia and Octavia models, saying the new Rapide Spaceback is their first small hatchback in the strategically important compact class. The fresh-looking design is aimed at new car buyers looking for a cheaper alternative to the VW Golf, even if it may look cheap. This smart hatchback has showroom appeal. Car tester Emmanuel says, on the road, the Rapide Spaceback keeps the promise made by its design. It's agile and maneuverable, and fun to navigate around bends. The Czech car maker depended heavily on its parent for engineering support, using the Golf's range of 3 gasoline and 3 diesel engines. We tested the 1.2-liter TSI with a standard-fitted 6-speed transmission. It puts out 77 kilowatts of power, reaching a maximum speed of 193 kilometers per hour. Most of the engines also come in a green tech version. There's also one extra efficient diesel model, the Green Line Edition. Skoda will be offering the Rapide Spaceback all over Europe, but its principal markets will be in Central and Western Europe. In Germany, Christoph Behringer sees the potential for it to become one of the brand's largest volume sellers. The headlights and grille help to integrate the front into the overall design dynamic. Options include xenon headlights, fog lights, and built-in directional front lighting systems. The longer wheelbase means lots of legroom, and thanks to the Spaceback's contours, even an inch more headroom than in the sedan. The equipment line we tested, the Elegance, lived up to its name, though not quite achieving the quality of the Golf. The Elegance line still includes lots of hard plastic. The new multifunctional steering wheel takes after its big VW brother. The displays are clear and simple. The seats are comfortable and provide ample legroom in both front and back. The car also lives up to the name Spaceback, with 415 liters of luggage capacity, the most in its class. No other compact can boast as much. The Golf falls 35 liters short. Our reviewer Emmanuel is impressed with the Rapide Spaceback, inside and out. He can't find anything to complain about and says altogether it's a really well-made car. Plus, the Rapide Spaceback starts at some 3,000 euros less than the lowest-priced VW Golf. A visionary and virtual concept, the Mercedes-Benz AMG Vision Gran Turismo. It was specially designed for the Gran Turismo 6 console game. The Mercedes design team followed the same in-house procedures for developing real-world production cars and prototypes. It is not yet apparent how far the fictional AMG Vision Gran Turismo resembles the upcoming AMG GT. Alfa Romeo presents its latest sports coupe, the 4C. The 2-seater incorporates engineering previously deployed in the 8C Competizione super sports car, plus materials such as carbon fiber and aluminum. The engine's turbocharged 4-cylinders unit generates 176 kilowatts. Alfa plans to limit production to just 3,500 a year. The 4C hits the market in Germany at just over 50,000 euros. Apparently, the BMW website says the X6 has the agility and elegance of a coupe and the impressive versatility of a sport activity vehicle, and that the car draws its strength from the magic of two exclusive automobile worlds. Our tester Mate says you can argue about the form and elegance, but when it comes to versatility, we'll have to find out for ourselves. The X6 has been around since 2008, but it was never a big seller. Now BMW's decked it out with a new engine and better handling to try and change that. Mattes feels very safe in the X6. In wet conditions, it starts to shift over the front wheels. The car is pretty heavy, but Mattes finds it manageable, and it never feels unsafe. We're testing the diesel-powered xDrive 30D with an output of 180 kilowatts. It can hit 100 kilometers an hour in 7.5 seconds and has a maximum speed of 222. Opinion is divided over the car's exterior design. Some people think it's graceful and elegant. For others, it's as clunky as a tank. Mate says you have to consider storage space when you're looking at the versatility of an SUV. The X6 is a bit limited in terms of luggage capacity. If you take a look in the trunk, it's deep and wide, but not very high. Even if he takes the rear shelf out, it doesn't change much. The coupe-style rear reflects the character of the X6. LED rear lights come as standard. Whatever you need the X6 for, there's plenty of room on the inside. And on top of that, the interior also features a lot of extra storage options. The central console opens up to create a handy spot close to the driver. There's also room to keep further items in the dashboard. As expected, there's a range of driver assists. The car's size and handling mean bumps in the road are easily absorbed. But there's a snag. When it comes to the view, Mattes isn't sure if it matches an SUV. When he looks out of the back, he can hardly see a thing. The front columns to the left and right are wide, and then, with the wing mirrors next to them, the view is restricted. Mate says the sitting position is like being in a coupe. If he wants a better view of the hood, like he's used to with SUVs, then he needs to raise the seat a lot. Maybe he's just too small for this car.
Da muss ich den Sitz schon sehr weit hoch machen. Vielleicht bin ich einfach zu klein für dieses Auto. Ich weiß es ja nicht.
The X6 isn't suited to all types of driving. For people in urban areas, the length of almost 5 meters could prove difficult to handle. But the car makes up for that with a comfortable interior. The driver's seat is comfortable, and the ergonomics are typically sound for a BMW. It's a diesel engine, but one that consumes 10 to 11 liters for 100 kilometers if you put your foot down. Mattes doesn't think that's too high for a car this big and heavy. It could be more efficient, but maybe the next generation will deal with that issue. Even so, Mattes wouldn't buy this car himself.
Ich fühle mich wohl. Nur kaufen würde ich ihn mir trotzdem nicht.
That's a decision for consumers to make themselves. Prices for the X6 in Germany start at just under 60,000 euros. Rainer Schertle is a coach driver. We meet him in the south of France and take a short trip together on Setra's new luxury coach. Setra's been making this kind of vehicle in Germany for over 50 years. Today, it's part of Daimler. In spite of its size, the bus maneuvers astonishingly well. Reiner says right from the first, the coach had the feel of an ordinary car. He mentions the grip on the steering wheel, the coherence of the steering, and the steering transmission, which is very smooth. He says the high seat position helps drivers see what's coming. They can react to situations, and when it comes to the feel of the vehicle and driver dynamics, Reiner says it does the job. The Setra Top Class 500 is just under 4 meters high and over 13 meters in length. It has an 8-gear power shift transmission and meets the very latest safety standards. The 12.8-liter engine capacity achieves 350 kilowatts of power and 2,300 newton-meters of torque. The new engine is more efficient than its predecessor and meets the Euro 6 emission standards that will come into force in the next year. It took 4 years to develop the coach. Michael Stark from Daimler says the one guiding principle behind the development of the series was quite simply to make the Top Class 500 the peak of coach building, with cutting-edge technology and a unique and distinctive design that stays true to its brand values and provides passengers with extraordinary comfort. Our journey takes us to the airport in the city of Nice. The coach can carry 55 passengers. The Mercant family is happy to let us chauffeur them to their hotel while they put the coach to the test. Daughter Valeria is immediately drawn to the panoramic glass roof, which gives the coach an airy ambience. Passengers can also see the view up ahead on monitors. Dario says it looks good on the outside, and the inside is especially nice because everything's leather. He says normal city buses don't necessarily have panoramic views. He also says the coach has plenty of room. Valeria says coaches aren't usually so simple. They're always cramped, but here you have a lot of room. She says she likes the light-colored leather seats the best. Mrs. Mercante says she works in the travel industry and sells coach tours. She says she likes this coach because it offers comfort to the passenger. She also likes the fact that it's wide and not too tight. We drop the Mercante family off at their hotel after a smooth ride and take the opportunity to ask Reiner how he's doing in the driver's seat. He says the whole cockpit area is set up for the driver. Every button is in the right position, so the driver just has to press it once, and he knows where it is. He says the buttons are arranged logically, so drivers can find them straight away, and they're in the best possible position. Another thing Reiner mentions is that the drivers themselves can change the buttons to suit them and put them in other spots. He says that's typical for Setra. The Top Class 500 scores well with our driver and gets the thumbs up from passengers too. It has the grace of a Bernini sculpture and contours that could have been carved by Michelangelo. The Bizzarini 5300 GT has classic Italian styling written all over it. But for its actual creator, this sports car wasn't just about its captivating looks. It bears the hallmark of Giotto Bizzarini, arguably the most talented racing car constructor of the 1960s. The 5300 GT's mission was to leave the competition for dust on the racetrack and fill its creator with pride. Bizzarini. The very name still makes Ferrari or Maserati owners nervous. Its maker had high hopes of it becoming the new star in the sports car horizon on the back of Triumphs on the track. But this supernova on four wheels fizzled out all too rapidly. Today, most people wouldn't even recognize a 5300 GT. Erich Oswald is the happy owner of one of these rare racers. The 5300 GT was built between 1964 and 68 in a limited edition. According to some sources, production amounted to just 70 hand-assembled specimens. Giotto Bizzarini was born in Livorno in 1926. He is considered one of the most influential constructors in the history of motorsports. He spent 5 years at Ferrari as developer, designer, test driver, and chief engineer. Among his accomplishments there, the iconic GTO. Eventually, there was a clash of egos between him and boss Enzo Ferrari, leading to his departure. The GTO went on to clock up a string of victories and remains one of the most valuable and hotly desired racing cars of all time. For some people, the greatest Ferrari ever. Models have been auctioned for up to $30 million. Only 39 were built. Back to Giotto Bizzarini. After being recruited by Renzo Revolta, he created the Isogrifo, a high-performance Gran Turismo with American engineering on board. But Bizzarini wanted more. He built a two-seater competition car based on the Grifo. His boss Revolta wanted to sell cars rather than burn money on the racetrack, however. The two likewise parted ways. Bizzarini took his latest creation with him and named it the Bizzarini 5300 GT. The V8 engine was, like that in the Grifo, taken from the Chevrolet Corvette. Bizzarini was the first to come up with a front mid-engine, explains proud owner Erich. Engines on top of the axle have a far higher center of gravity. An engine below and behind the axle is far lower, which gives you a massive advantage in terms of handling. It's still copied today. From the very start of his career, when he was making bigger cars, Bizzarini had a preference for high-capacity American engines over their smaller, high-powered Italian rivals. He also once tried to convince Ferrari to construct a large displacement engine with lower rev levels. The 5.4-liter V8, complemented by a battery of twin Weber carburetors, pumps out 360 horsepower. And that's in the basic version. The engine is unusually far back. The only access to the distributor cap was via an opening on the dashboard. Take to the wheel of a Bizzarini, and you're left in no doubt that it was constructed for the track. The full-blooded V8, propelling a two-seater weighing just 1,100 kilos, delivers the kind of ferociousness otherwise associated with modern super sports cars. The GT is not meant for a jaunt in the countryside. The 5300 GT was launched into action on the track against Ferrari to give Bizzarini revenge for his dismissal by his former employer. And he did win a few times. At the 1,000-kilometer race at Monza in 1965, for example. The 5300 GT left all the GTOs in its tracks. But the car maker was unable to follow up on that success, not least because of a lack of funds. Erich Oswald's prize beauty is the first of just 10 Corsa editions featuring a lightweight body. Bizzarini went with this car, which previously had an aluminum body, to a boat construction in Italy. Together, they built a fiberglass body, Bizzarini then made 9 more Corsas.
Hat dann danach 9 weitere Corsas gebaut.
Today, the 5300 GT is a member of a very exclusive club. Anyone who owns one will be desperate to hold on to it. Potential buyers are looking at a 6-figure price tag, whatever condition it's in. Most recently, a 5300 GT changed hands for over €500,000. For the vast majority of auto aficionados, a Bizzarini will always be just a dream.